Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Epic Maker Studio and FNP Wargamers. I just got done knocking out a video, and I went to check my news feed, and sure enough, more information came out from Marvel Crisis Protocol than I expected. I don't know if this is a sign of the times, sign of things to come, or is this a way of placating the community, because Atomic Mass Games, at least here in the US, has not been able to get the Amazing Spider-Man, Black Cat box, and the Carnage and Mysterio box into stores. People have actually are trying to order them from outside. I think Canada has got them, and of course, I think the European Union. Now, mind you, Asmodee is the company that Atomic Mass Games falls under, and they're based in France, but there's a massive facility in, I think it's Minnesota, Michigan, Minnesota, one of those northern M states, not Missouri though. And so it's a little bewildering. Heck, I think Atomic Mass Games is based here in Texas. I could be wrong. At any rate, it's just a little bewildering. It's like, why aren't we getting these models that have been pushed back for like 3 months now? I think they're supposed to be out in June and now July, and now they've been delayed again. It's like, what the hell is going on? So, what am I talking about with placating us? Well, I'm not talking about, excuse me, Blade, but let's take a look at Blade and see why we're kind of excited. Now, Blade is going to be coming out with Moon Knight later on, or not the Moonlight, but Moon Knight. Not, you know what I'm trying to say. So let's take a look at the character. He does kind of have a little cross between the Wesley Snipes character, who was, let's be honest, the first not the first Marvel character out there, because I think Howard Duck was the first Marvel, actual official Marvel movie. But Wesley Snipes is Blade. I don't care about the new guy that they got coming out. Wesley Snipes is Blade. He's the first real black Marvel superhero that we got to see, not Black Panther, God rest his soul, but Blade, Wesley Snipes. So remember that, kids. So, anyways, Blade, Eric Brooks. We're going to read left to right, top to bottom. So he's got 6 health on both sides. I'm only showing you the healthy side. I will be showing you an example of the healthy and dazed or wounded side here in a moment. Medium movement, typical. Size 2, typical. 4 threat. Now that is a little surprising, but we're going to see why. I figured he would have been a 3 or a 4. I'm a little surprised at a 4, but he's probably going to be one of the better 4s out there. 4 seems to be this weird, like, limbo zone, and a lot of the 4 threat or 4-point characters are just kind of like, meh. Now, his defenses, physical, energy, and mystic, are pretty good. 4 for physical, 3, which is fairly standard for energy or for anybody, and then 4 mystic. I like that. This guy's got some defenses. So his katana is a mystic attack. I don't know how this works out, but I mean, he's supernaturally strong. Maybe it's a magic blade. Who knows? I don't know. But range 2, 5 attack dice, and 0 power cost. That's standard for most of the first 2 attacks of any character. You get power for any of the damage dealt after the attack is resolved. Not if you cause damage, but after the attack is resolved. No matter what, you're going to be inflicting bleed, special condition on that target character, unless they're immune to bleed, and then you don't worry about it. So no matter what, you're going to be slapping bleed on somebody. That's good, and we're going to get into why. This also has the pierce ability. So if you happen to roll 1 or more wild symbols on your attack, then you get to change one of the defending characters' critical success, the wild symbol, or defense results to a blank. Being you want to go in that order, by the way, turn that critical success into a blank, because that could potentially give him another success if he rolls it, and so on and so forth. So remember that. Remember that there's a reason I think that they've got that specific order there. Throwing glaives, which we've talked about this before in different chat groups. They're more like chakrams, not chakra, but chakrams, like the throwing disc that Xena Warrior Princess would have. They're not really glaives, because a glaive is a long pole arm. But in fantasy and sci-fi, there's a tendency to make these throwing blades that aren't, if it's not a knife or a throwing axe, it's a glaive. It's so dumb. Anyways, range 4, 4 attack dice, which isn't a lot, and 0 power expected. However, after the attack is resolved, this character gains 1 power. So you don't have to, you just have to do the attack. Doesn't matter if you've caused damage or not, you're going to get a point of power. That's good. And after it's resolved, another thing, if you roll the wild symbol, just like the previous attack, you're going to inflict bleed. So you don't even have to cause damage. You just need to do the attack to get the power and 1 wild symbol out of the 4 dice, which I think puts you at about 40 or 50% chance, maybe 60% chance. Let's just say 50% chance of, see, 12, 24, 48. I want to say it's around 48-ish percent chance of getting at least 1 wild symbol on that roll. Knight of the Dampier. You have it's a mystic attack. The previous attack was a physical one. The Knight of the Dampier, if you're not familiar, Dampier is kind of a terminology used to describe living vampires or half vampires, half human. They're depending on what fantasy book or sci-fi book or comic book you're reading. So it's range 3, 7 dice, attack dice. That's pretty nice. A robust 4 power to do this ability. If the target character has the bleed special condition, remember you are inflicting a lot of bleed out there, you may re-roll any number of attack dice. Really awesome. After the attack is resolved, you're going to be inflicting bleed on the character. I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe bleed can stack. I think that's one of the few ones that can stack. I could be wrong. Now, after this attack is resolved, this character may advance medium range. So a lot of things going on here that whether you do damage or not, which with what's going on here, you're very likely going to cause damage. But no matter what, you're going to be getting something. Even if you weren't successful in hurting them, you're going to be putting bleed on them, and you're going to get a free medium movement. That's nice just for the 4 power. I'll take that all day. So we're going to kind of scroll side to side here. So once per the Bump in the Night affiliation, Midnight Suns. If you're not familiar with Midnight Suns, it is one of the superhero teams besides the Avengers, and I want to say the Defenders at one point that Blade has been on. But he is at least one of the team leaders for Midnight Suns. So once per turn, at any time during an allied character's activation, it may spend 1 power, and you get to place that character within range 1 of its current position. I don't know how useful that's going to be, but that's a very limited situational thing. It could put you out of range of a potential area of effect attack. Unlikely, but it could help you go from contesting to capturing an objective, or maybe even grab an objective that has fallen on the ground. That there's a lot that could be going on right there. Doesn't seem like it's the best ability, but we still don't know whatever other things that are going to be coming out, what that could do. And 1 power to move at basically an inch and a half. There could be some potential there. Anyway, so he has a superpower called Half-Blood Physiology, and it looks like they're altering the symbols a little bit there. This character immediately performs a shake action at a cost of 1 power. I think despite the description here, I can see some people being confused and saying, well, he's performing a shake action, which means if he spends the power, he's using an action. I'm sure it'll get clarified, but if you're not familiar, if a character has a superpower or reactive power or something that requires an action, it prefaces the entire description with action, this character immediately performs a shake action. So I think most of us, common sense here rules, you do not spend an action to use this. It's just burn a point of power and do a shake action. Shake action can basically shake off, stagger, stun, that sort of thing. Supernatural senses, reactive power. When this character is defending against a physical or energy attack, mystic attack, after rolling its defense dice, it may use this superpower. So you have to do your defense dice first. This character may re-roll any number of its defense dice, including critical failure dice or results. That's awesome. For 2 power, that's really good. That's a nice big boost, and especially considering that Blade has 4 dice for his physical and 4 dice for his mystic. It's going to be very difficult. What was that for 1 power? Was it for 2 power? The ability to re-roll those dice. He's going to be in the game a lot longer. Vampiric Immortality, which I think is going to be a great ability at the end of this character's activation. So once you're done using his 2 actions, or if you have like a tactics card that lets you do a 3rd action or something, you get 1 power. So you get a power at the beginning of the rounds during the power phase, and once you use him, you're going to get a point of power, plus any other power that you might have gained that turn. So he's going to be a power munging machine. And you get to remove, and removes 1 damage from itself for each other character within range 2 of it that has bleed condition. Other characters. So that doesn't mean just your or the enemy characters, but also allied characters. If anybody has bleed and he puts bleed on with every attack, he's going to be healing a lot. He's going to be hard to keep down. He's going to be a character I think you're going to want in the thick of it, because he, with the ability to inflict bleed and benefit from it, I see him being highly used. So let's go on to the next character, Baron Mordo, Carl Amadeus Mordo. So they have this is different Marvel universes. Normally, in at least the original, Carl Amadeus Mordo was a white. I want to say, I mean, I can't remember even countries from. I'm going to say some Slavic country, but they have since gone with the actor, the black character version, and there's nothing to say that. I mean, there's nothing to say that he can't be a Carl Amadeus. That's basically the same character, just ethnic bending, or they could even gender bended it. I'm just wanting people to know. So if you're going through old comic books, going, "Oh man, I want to read about Baron Mordo," and you're like, "Why does this dude with the evil haircut look different from this dude? That's the dude from Old Guard and the Doctor Strange movie. What's going on here?" All right. So Baron Mordo, Carl Amadeus Mordo. So I'm going to be showing you the health. Well, actually, we'll just go and show you right now. This is the healthy side. Here's the damage side. Why am I showing you the two? Just so I can show you the difference between any of the abilities that are affected. So in this particular case, the only thing that I saw, and we'll go through this together, is the difference in health. He loses 1 health on his damage side. So coming back to this side, top to bottom, left to right, 6 health, total of 11 health, not too bad. Medium movement, size 2, very typical. Only a 3 threat. So this is actually a little surprising. I figured he was going to be a 4. Weak physical defense of a 2. Okay, I can go with that. 4 physical and 4 mystic. That's good. That makes more sense. I'm surprised that it's a 2. Probably should have been a 3, but since he is a threat 3 instead of threat 4, that part makes sense. So Staff of the Living Tribunal, we know that he at least uses that in the Marvel movie for Doctor Strange. I don't know how well he uses it in the comics prior to the coming of the movie and the change of the character. Anyways, so range 3, healthy range, 4 dice, a little low, and 0 power. Very typical. He's going to gain that power equal to damage dealt. Good. If he rolls a wild symbol, if the target character is size 2 or less, before you deal any damage, you can push away the target short range, which is good because that could kick them off of an objective, put them in range for, especially if it's an enemy target that's already been activated, put them in range for when you're able to activate another character and you don't want to spend an action moving. It lines everything up. Pushing is good. Pushing and pulling in the game is very good. It is a mystic attack. So the next mystic attack is Bolts of Bishru. We're going to go with Bishru. Range 4, another 4 attack. More 4 attack dice, 0 power cost. After the attack is resolved, kind of like Blade's little throwing glaives there, you get a point of power. You don't have to do damage, you just get a point of power. Now, you're going to inflict the Hex special condition if you roll a wild symbol. Very good chance. essentially it's the same thing I just said about Blade and his throwing glaives. Reigns of Ragador. Ragador. We're going to go with the Reigns of Ragador. Range 4, 7 attack dice, 4 power, burning rain. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains the incinerate and poison special conditions. Oh, dang. I bet you there's going to be a lot of cool combos with some of the other characters that are going to be coming out with the convocation with all these mystic characters that, if you're going to have all these special conditions. We're still going into this, but I have a feeling putting the hex on, putting poison and incinerate is going to be setting them up. If you're not familiar, I believe, I don't have the card handy, but Scarlet Witch is another one of those that if they've got special conditions on them, like hex, incinerate, poison, that she's got abilities that trigger effects based off of that. So this is going to be good. All right, so we're going to start with his 2 superpowers. Master of the Occult is the first one, 0 power cost. This is an action, and it clearly shows it's an action there in bold. Unlike the previous one, what was that called? The Half-Blood Physiology of Blade. You see there's no action there in the beginning, but there is action here. So this character gains 2 power. It can only be used once per turn. That's good. You could conceivably be popping off most of your abilities turn 1. That's pretty good. Soul Barb. This is another superpower. It's gonna cost 2 power. Choose an enemy character within range 3 of this character with 1 or more of the following special conditions. See what I was talking about? Hex, incinerate, poison, or slow. Choose one of these special conditions on that character. Each enemy character within range 2 of them gains this chosen special condition. So this is another one of the things. You hit them with the Reigns of Ragador, and then you pop this off. And that's a very costly power. Probably about turn 3 you're going to be able to do this. But you're going to be throwing those special conditions around to a lot of people. That's awesome. Ferocity of Cytorax, which is actually very interesting. The god that empowers the Juggernaut is Cytorax. So 2 power cost is a reactive ability. When another allied character within range 3 of this character targets an enemy character with an attack, this character may use this superpower. So this is either before you activate Baron Mordo or after he's already been activated and one of your other characters is doing something. The attacking character adds 2 dice to its attack roll, and then after the attack is resolved, the attacking character suffers 1 damage. So you're going to take some damage, but you're going to be adding on 2 dice. That's I think that would be worth it, especially if it's a character that you have that can heal, like, I don't know, Blade. That could be really good. So Vaulting Boots of Voltor, another reactive power, and it's going to cost you 2. After this character is pushed, it may use this superpower. And then after the effect is resolved, you've been pushed away or pushed towards a different direction, then you could advance short. And most pushing abilities are like a short range, sometimes medium, but usually you move them range short. So you might get kicked off of an objective, but you pop 2 power, use your boots, your magic boots, and go right back to where you were. And then, of course, he has the flight ability, which is very solid, especially with the medium movement. He's going to get where he needs to go. All right, so let's just take a quick look. It doesn't look like, nothing else changes with his health or his damage side, with the exception of the loss of health. So let me know what you guys think of Baron Mordo and Blade. I'm personally excited for both these characters. I wasn't thinking I was going to like Baron Mordo. I figured he was just going to be kind of a chump character, but he looks like he's going to be a control type character. He's going to throw some status effects. Doesn't have the most highest damage, but he's going to be benefiting from other abilities, other people's inflicted abilities, and even helping them. I think he's going to be a nice control style character. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think of the comment, or in the comments below, what you guys think of either of these characters. Are they going to end up in your roster? If they are going to end up in your roster, who are you going to team them up with? I'm interested to hear that. I know we still have to see some more characters along the way, but it's starting to look pretty good for the Midnight Suns and the Convocation. I think it's called the Convocation. Anyways, this is the second video of the day, though it'll probably be up first. And then we got a third one coming. And you guys have yourself a wonderful day. It's hump day. I'm hoping you guys will have a great Wednesday, Thursday, Friday going into the weekend. And hope to see you maybe at the Atomic Hobby Shop this weekend. We'll get some games in. All right. Talk to you guys later.